The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
All right, what is up, Hobby Talk fans and all collector fans? We are back live here on the Belly Up Sports Network for Hardcore Hobby Talk. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rochelle. To the right of me is the guy from the Grading Authority, the man Mark, and down below is the CEO of HobbyDB, Mr. Christain Braun. Christain, how are we feeling this afternoon?
Excellent. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, it's definitely our pleasure. Appreciate your time here on the second episode here. Getting things kicked off here on Belly Up Sports. I guess how we'll kick things off is throw it down to Christain and Chris, kind of give us a little background. How did you get into hobbying and how did your company come to be?
Wow, how far back do you want me to go in time?
All the way back.
Well, I mean, okay, here's the deal. When I was 6, my brother was 11. He said, "You get the toy soldiers, I get the cars." He got the model cars, and he's got about 50,000 now. He's also wrote 20 books on them, so it was a good deal for him. I got my toy soldiers. I played with them. I traded them with friends, and then a few years later, I traded them back, and I became a collector, and then I became a dealer. And I always liked collectibles. When the internet came along, I thought, this is great. I tried writing a book. I just didn't have the patience. And I started using many different websites and noticed that a lot of them just died. People would create a website on a particular subject that they liked. They would run it for 5 years. It became the go-to website for whatever that was. And then it would just disappear. There's internet wacky archive, but it's just really not good. They have 2 pages and 3 photos, and you can't see anything there. So I really hated the fact that information got lost. And when Wikipedia didn't allow me to add the stuff that I like, I just started my own website. I'm building a database of every collectible ever made. And if somebody likes something enough about and wanting to add it to our site, they can do that.
Now, how would they go about that? Like, is it like, do you have to initially sign up on the website and start filling out the application,
initially, I like. So my vision was to have 100,000 people that build this database and that own the company, and I set out to do that. And so initially, everybody was allowed to add information to the site. Didn't work out. Too many spammers, too many scammers, too many idiots. So we started changing that, and now anybody can join the site and use it. We have 620,000 members. But to add something, you just have to shout out and say, "Hey, I want to add information to the site." And then you start as what we call a rookie, obviously. And a rookie can add some price points and do a few things, and we'll check that. And then they can go up the hierarchy. And the way we are set up, as an example, surprising enough, we have 102,000 different Hard Rock Cafe pins that they sell in the Hard Rock Cafe, like this guy here. And that's a lot of pins. And there are 93 volunteers that manage that part of the site. And they're organized in what we call the squad. There's 2 coordinators. And then there's people below there that are responsible for the different restaurants around the world that do these pins. And they really manage their own affair. It's their own tribe that do their own stuff. They really reach out to me if they need something changed in the database, or there's a new feature coming up or something that they need help with. And that's the plan. We'll eventually have people that, like the Denver Nuggets, or and then that's what they do. And this we have Funko people, and we have Hot Wheel people, and we have decoy people, and we have Roman coin people, and they're organized in their own group, and they manage their own little empire here.
That's crazy. And that's did you say over 100,000 Hard Rock pins?
Yeah, 102,000. That's
102,000.
There will be 200,000 Disney pins when we're done. I think they're going to be about 50,000 Coca-Cola pins. There are probably 3 million political pins. I just have no idea how many political pins there are. There is so much stuff out there.
Would you say pins is the biggest category of collectibles?
No. I mean,
not even close.
Trading cards is probably going to be, I don't know, 10 million or so when we're done. I have no idea how many decoys there are, or corkscrews, or carpets. Because all of that gets collected, right?
Collectors collect.
Yeah, I mean, there is a collector for literally anything.
I totally agree, and that's where you come in.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen. We have this tagline. Yeah, it's partly fun, partly true. It's you can see it on the screen, bottom left. Over 100 billion collectibles. Eventually.
That's true. Now you say cars is probably the biggest one. What are probably some of the more fun things that you see go up on your site that maybe you have a more liking to?
Well, I really enjoy the variety. We have this advisory council that we built so we can make sure we do things correctly. And there are people in there. There's a guy who runs the U.S. military's museum's toy soldier collection. There's a person that Philip here has a museum for slot cars in L.A. It's the most amazing place. Chuck owns a museum of clocks. He has 3,000 clocks in 4 rooms. It's amazing just to go in there because they're all like tick, 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 tick. And at the hour, it's nuts. So I just love that part. I personally like science fiction toys from the 30s to the 50s, like those puzzles behind me, because people were just so positive at that. They thought the future it's going to be so fantastic. I like that period. I like Lego. I like tin plate robots, that kind of stuff.
Wow. And where do you find this stuff?
Well, that's it, right? I mean, collecting these days has become, I think, a little bit too easy. If you wanted every Funko Pop, we have a marketplace. We have 36,000 Funko Pops in the marketplace, and you can go out there and just more or less buy them all. And that takes a little bit of the fun out of it. I think the fun has to be a little bit the hunt as well, and the chase.
The chase, yeah.
Yeah. So when we moved to the US, I collect model cars as well, but I got my kids. They were young at the time. They were 3 and 5, and they were doing what I told them to do then. I said, hey, when we go to an antique shop, let's look for totem poles. Because if you go to an antique shop and you say you want Hot Wheels, they're there. If you want trading cards, they're there. If you want decoys, they're there. But if you say totem poles, handmade, wooden totem poles, and they're like, we don't know. Go and look. So I told the kids, look, you get $1 if you find ones, and they were just everywhere looking for them.
That's the fun of it, though. You can collect anything, and HobbyDB is a great place to find things that you might not even know you're interested in.
Yes. I mean, we have a competition of how quick can you get from the page of the Mallard, the duck, to the page of Batman. 6 clicks is the current record. You just got to find something that is Mallard related and then Superman related, and then you have to just click through because every page has all the attributes, right?
Yeah.
So it's a fun little exercise that we run sometimes.
I got to tell you, when I signed up for the website and I started searching around, I think I was looking at Ted Williams items, and I found so many things I didn't even know would exist. Adding them to my wish list. I think it was a wish list, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You can have a wish list, so you could those things that you would never think of again.
Yeah, I usually have 9 million items on their wish list now.
I'm sure. I think I added about 1 million that night. So I love what you're doing. HobbyDB, as a collector, when I go on HobbyDB, I kind of geek out. It's so much fun. And you can just lose track of time, deep dive right into the platform, finding anything collectible. So I appreciate what you're doing. And I see what you guys are doing. Big stuff, big growth right now. Can you talk about the month of March? I heard March was a big month for you guys.
March was a big month for us. Yes, we grew traffic-wise 24%. So basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to build a system that's good enough for comic collectors and pest dispenser collectors and action figure collectors and trading card collectors. And that was technically hard because we still want all the right language and attributes for all of these items. So when we built it, it was a difficult build and it was a little bit slow. The site was slow. And what we've done this year is we've made the site faster. A lot of database tuning and that kind of boring stuff, but great results. The site is much faster. We grow traffic 24%. We have other databases that are joining us, which is the way we grow in big steps. We have big and small steps. Small step is somebody's adding a new action figure or new comic or new magazine or something like that. A big step is this lady who documented Starbucks mugs, and she has a database of 6,000 of them. She said, look, I stopped collecting. I did all this work. Would you like to take the data? And we're like, yeah, give it to us. So we are now taking the data. And that's how we grow into new segments. We're adding 80,000 Roman coins. My personal favorite is probably we're adding 11,000 cereal premiums. Stuff that you in the 50s and 60s and 70s you got with your Kellogg's cornflakes or other cereals. The guy had a database of 200 different cereal companies and every premium they've made, and I just love that stuff because where else do you see that? So we're adding those. We're adding the Starbucks mugs. We're adding 300,000 books and magazines of auto archives. We are hopefully finishing our Garbage Pail Kids archive, which is going to be 15,000 cards. So there's a lot happening.
That's excellent. So can we walk it back a second?
Comic books, the Garbage Pail Kids, he's going everywhere.
Absolutely is. Can we paint a picture here? So I'm brand new. I've never been on your website, but I collect 1-inch Ninja Turtles. Yes. What do I do? What does that experience look like? You have various choices. You can go to the page of the Ninja Turtles or a particular individual Ninja Turtle, like Leonard, or you can go to the manufacturer of those 1-inch figures that you have. We'll also have a page of the series of those, so you can go to that page. Or you can just search the items. So, and the search has lots of filters and abilities to fine tune, because obviously that's what we need. We have, I think, about 80,000 Batman items. To find your item, you can refine your search. You got to get granular with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you start wide, and then you just go, and then you just add to your search.
All right, so I got my Ninja Turtle. Perfect little 1-inch Ninja Turtle. I don't know if these exist, by the way. I'm making it up, but I wouldn't be shocked if
they're probably HeroClix. The HeroClix are 1A, and we have lots of them.
There you go.
When you get to the page, you have the choice to. You can just read about it. You can add it to your wish list. You can add it to your collection. You can add information to it. It really depends. Collectors have. Some collectors add tons of information: where they bought it, how much they paid for it, where they store it. You can do all of that, or you can just say, "I have it." And then,
what if I want to? If I want to buy it?
Oh, then you can. If it's there, we've got about 100,000 items for sale at the moment in the marketplace. You can buy it. If it's not there, you can add it to your wish list. You get a notification when somebody else puts it up for sale.
There it is. That's perfect.
Yeah, and then you can add it to your showcase, and you can sort the showcase the way you like. It sounds bad, but it's a little bit like MySpace. You can personalize your page, make it nice, make it yours. If you want to, you can buy a URL and lay it over it, and then you have a website.
So I get my first item. I'm a rookie. It's I'm hoping to get more than a cup of coffee here. Long term, how do I get to the next level? Is it through adding up a lot of items, making some purchases, building out your profile?
I mean, you can just use the site and use it all day long, and that's perfectly fine. Or you can say, hey, I want to become part of the squad. That's what we call it. And in the help, there's a little eye in the top right. You just click on that, and then there's a contact us button. You just email us saying, hey, I want to help out. I want to add. I like the I like the Denver Broncos. I want to curate that page, and then we're getting set up.
Gotcha.
We have a little group where the volunteers talk and coordinate. You get a mentor to start off with, and then you just add your first item. And if you like it, there's no stopping. We have a guy who added 75,000 items to the database.
75,000. Steve, can you imagine that?
I mean, I'm just scrolling now just so I can see what he. I mean, I think they're pretty because I'm a Philly guy. He got all kinds of the action figures that are still in the packages and stuff like that. The funny thing is,
what makes us unique in sports, I think, is the ability to see everything. Just for fun, I'm sharing my screen with you guys now. Let's see, how does it work? I click this button, share screen. Oh, this is not easy. Sorry, trying to. Here we go. So I've just been to the Denver Broncos and I clicked. Can you see my screen?
I'm gonna pull it up now. Hold on.
Oh. Yeah, so I clicked on the Denver Broncos and there comes up the different players that are related to it, and I click on one of those. Let's say Champ Bailey, and it shows me stuff by him. So there's this car and there's some kind of OU Sports action figure, which looks a little like a Lego mini brick. There's just different stuff that's done by him, and I can see all of that. I mean, obviously, there are many sites that have his trading cards, but we'll have his action figure and his trading cards, and we also do autographed items. So anything autographed can be shown on the site, and you can see all of that, and you can click through from here to the NFL, and then just see which what else is related to NFL, and click on something like that. Like I think you mentioned Philadelphia, the Eagles. And just click on stuff that's related to the Eagles, like this stood up lineup figure here.
This is so cool.
Thanks. And that applies if you can say, show me everything that's Batman related. We talked about that earlier. But I can then also say, show me all the Batman movies. And I want to see just stuff that's related to the Dark Knight Returns. And then that's your page. So everything in the system basically has its page that then shows you items around that. And that's one way of browsing to your item versus using the search.
Can you show the related subjects? Or like if you were to click in, does it have recommended, suggested other items to look at when you're in a specific listing?
Well, it shows you everything. So I mean, if you like Robin, for example, so I just went up to DC. I'm now seeing DC related subjects, and if I wanted Robin, I click on that, and then I get to see everything that's related to him.
Right now, if you clicked into the 34 Ford sedan,
yes.
Right now, so now we have the part of the set.
So
this
is part of the set. So if you can obviously get him unique individually, and you can see he's popular. He's on 9 wish lists. Only one person has it. You can either add him to your wish list, or you can add the set to your wish list. This is a set here, and the set has these 4 cars.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, and from here I can see other the series and other 4-set cars, and so you can click around basically. That's also when I mentioned mullet to Batman. That's what I meant. You start at the subject of mullet and try to get the subject of Batman by clicking on items.
We should do a little challenge now, a little click challenge. See how many clicks we can get. I mean, this is cool.
Like I said, it's one of the things like I was trying to tell you. So we can do stuff like that, so it's easier, like for our video watchers. I mean, obviously, we have to also pander to the audio stuff to go through everything. But
no, of course, and yeah, I mean the cool stuff
that we wanted to do this, so it's easier for some of these people to kind of see how it is to use your site.
Yeah.
Anything else when we're having other guests on and things of that nature. This is why we're bringing this all together. It's
exactly. And yeah, the stuff that I get excited about is this is our app. It has 260,000 downloads. You know, this is a barcode scanner. It just basically allows you to scan an item. Here's some trading cards. You know, they have a barcode. I can scan that, and then it comes up. That's nice. And we're working as a next step to take an item like this one, photograph it, and then have it match it against the database by using the words on it, the shape on it, the colors on it, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
So that's going to be cool. Where you go out and you find something, you photograph it, and it matches up, and you can see what it is.
I love it. Feature-rich website. I mean, you have a great vision. You're in the collectibles industry. I collect. I love collecting. So I just want to let everyone know I am officially a shareholder of HobbyDB as of about a week ago. I'm very proud to announce that and to join this movement with you, Christian, because you're doing big things. We've had multiple conversations. I know what you're up to. And after this last March, you guys have a very, very bright future. I'm excited.
Yeah, now I obviously I work for you. But yeah, I mean, if other people wanted to, if you come to the website once a year, we use the ability. It's called the job acts. It's all very boring, but it allows nowadays somebody like a company like us can go out and get anybody to put in from $100 upwards, and I think that's fantastic because as I mentioned earlier, I want 100,000 volunteers that manage the site, but also own the site. It is so much nicer if you own something and if you volunteer for it. So
yeah,
that's the idea. There's 100,000 people that I work for and that own the site and build it.
So let's grow that number. What people have to do to get involved?
So if you wanted to become a shareholder, you have to hurry up. Closing is on Sunday.
This Sunday.
April. Yeah. And you go to wefunder.com/hobbydb. So it's wefunder.com/hobbydb.
And we'll be sharing that link as well.
Awesome. Do we show you our trading cards?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, every now and then we get to make a product, which is a lot of fun. So for example, I like this one here. This is the very first Shelby. And we did that with Shelby Museum that has the car and this French company that makes the car, that makes this item. So I've been able to sit in that car and look at it, and we've done a small run of it. And the other day we did our first trading. It's our second trading cards. We did some garbage pail kit cards. This is our second set, and it's hopefully the first of a whole series. It's called The Ones That Got Away, and the idea is this person who designed them, Larry Wood, started working for Hot Wheels in 1969, and he's been designing cars until last year. And these are the things that he didn't make. He didn't get to make. So the idea is to do G.I. Joe and, just other companies where there's designers that have been there for many years and show the world the stuff that we missed.
Love it.
That's so cool. Where do we get those?
He's going on the idea that I'm trying to push now. Obviously I told you I come from the combat sports world, right? So when you look at cards in the combat sports world, all there is the UFC.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird because that's only accounts for what, 30% of combat sports fighters. You still have, the Bellators of the world. You still have all of pro boxing.
Yeah.
All of pro boxing. So, the Jake Pauls of the world and stuff like that. And then I laugh because you go and look at what Panini did this year. They did a Hastabula insert. Hastabula's not even a fighter. He's a character basically. So what are fans actually paying for when they go and break a box of USC cards for Panini? We're gonna what sell a card for a fighter that's for not even a fighter, and it's going to be what people are. I've already seen people are doing things that they're asking for $500 rewards to find that card. I'm like, what are we doing? This guy he isn't a fighter. He's an athlete. He's not an upcoming star. He's never going to get in a ring. Why are we paying this money to have this card out there? Why are they making this card? So my thing is, I want to get the Invicta fighters, the bare knuckle boxers, Bellator, all these other. I would like to see get some of these companies behind and make some cards for them, because that's like what 60% of athletes that are out there don't have a card. They don't have assigned anything. They don't have a relic, a patch, or anything like that. I think it could be cool seeing some of these other companies get involved, making some stuff for some of these other promotions, instead of watching Topps, Panini, people just make UFC cards or WWE cards or whatever.
Now there's an idea. Maybe we'll do some sumo fighters next.
I mean, I have no problem linking you guys up with some people that could get some things done. I was already reaching out to a guy who I see makes cards for people and things of that nature, just to kind of see what it is, to see if I can get some people connected and things of that nature. But it'd be pretty cool, because even when me and Mark just connected, and I'm trying to find some things that are cool. Going through eBay, I found some stuff. There was a thing for Vinny Panzianza when he broke his neck. There was a special thing of cards made for it when he made his comeback or whatever. So I grabbed them up because I actually have really good friends with his PR rep. So at some point in time, I'm going to send them over to Mark to have him signed and graded and everything like that. We're going to do some cool stuff with that. Hopefully we'll get Vinny on here too.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Mark, we offer them on the side, but I like to do more proprietary products. It's fun. We're doing we're just doing something with Handmade by Robot. It's a little competition. You have to create a nice showcase of their products, and we asked them to. They made 10 products, a run of 10 products. They've never done that before, and it's a little robot, and you can only get them if you participate in this competition, and that's the kind of stuff that's really, really hard to get.
Yeah.
And that creates kind of fun in the environment, right? The
Okay.
one-offs, the really, really short runs where you have to do something special to get them. They're the fun. I think those are the parts that bring that chase element back.
Yeah, like when you really see we're NFL's about to come up. Let's say that this year, Top's going to do a one-on-one of Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts or whoever they decide to do. That would be fun to see. We see people kind of trying to go and buying up stuff to break them, to hopefully to see if they can get cards like that.
Yeah, what I particularly like is
get people involved again.
If there's a back end story to it. So, for example, one of my favorite items is called the Golden Ticket. Funko did it. They had a party. You had to get a ticket to the party, and when you got to the party, you got a golden chocolate, and if you opened it, you may or may not have a golden ticket. There were 4 golden tickets, and if you had one, you got a Willy Wonka figure in gold.
I was about to say that sounded very Willy Wonka-ish.
It is totally Willy Wonka-ish, right? But it's so cool if you get that. I mean, that item has all this history and that lore. Obviously they can auction off for $10,000, but that's not the same thing. To me,
No.
Yeah, to me, it's like you got it because you went to these hoops, and you had to be in a back alley at a certain hour early in the morning in New York. You had to change cash hand, and then you got this thing. That's what makes collecting fun. Not sitting in a line and being the highest bidder. I mean, that's cool too, but it's just not the same.
It's not the same at all. Different experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think we're doing so much autographing now. We're adding so many autographed items. And I think it's really cool. You get a Funko Pop, you go to a convention, you line up. I mean, there's a whole.
That's kind of like where I'm at. Like I was sitting there trying to tell you before. Like you have the action characters. I met Dikembe Mutombo about 2-3 years ago and had him sign his action figure. When I brought it to him, the look on his face was crazy. He's like, "Where did you find this? Yeah. I can't even find this. Where did you find this? I found it on eBay." But just to see, like, when you go and do that stuff, to get it signed, to get it framed, to get it put back in, or however you're going to do, if you're one that wants to keep it in an original package or whatever, it's cool to go and have that signed. But it's also, when you see some of the reactions to some of it's pretty cool.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah. So yeah, autograph is cool. It's a big trend. I think we're seeing more and more of it, and I'm very glad that we were able to add them all to the system. Same with prototypes and customs and all that kind of fun stuff that people do and get involved into if they want to get a little bit off the mainstream.
Yeah, autographs are awesome. I have them everywhere. I love me some autographs.
I got the signed jerseys behind me. I got the signed cards over there up on the wall.
Yeah.
So
Autographs and starting lineups for me. I see so many cards. I love cards. But I love.
You could like starting lineup?
Yeah. I have a few hanging on my wall, and I have some few in hard cases back behind me.
Right, because they made so much of it. We'll see if it comes back.
They did.
Yeah, no, I know. We'll see if if people like it.
I think that's something they should come.
I hate
what
them.
he's saying is that they should, like, how we had like starting lineup and pro line action figures when we were like 10, 15 years older or even younger, Mark, where they stopped making it like right around 2000. They stopped making all of them just about.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see, like instead of just the Funko Pops, because that's basically what they turned them into now.
The lineup is back.
Action figures kind of come back.
Yeah, starting lineup is back, but it's way different. It doesn't have the same appeal. It's all boxed in, so you have to open it up, put the toy together to even see it. Where these ones, the old ones, they're on display already. You don't have to take it out. I don't like the new ones. I bet they're nice when you take them out and build them and put them somewhere, but not the same.
No.
Not the same at all. I love these things.
Officially an old fart, Mark.
I know. Actually, it's my birthday this weekend.
How old are you turning this weekend, Mark?
Huh?
How old are you turning this weekend?
41.
We're getting there, right?
Yeah, getting there.
Yeah.
So Christian, what's next for HobbyDB? What do you got lined up for the rest of the year?
Loads and loads of more data.
I bet.
We have people sending us information. This is just model cars. I have boxes for sport memorabilia and ethnic stuff and so on and so forth. So it's all kind of data that we'd like to add to the site. We're doing more official archives, and something that we're really excited about is it's called the HobbyDB Retail Network. And what that will be is, our app will allow you to say, I'm in Philly, what collector stores are there? You will see, and then participating stores, you will see, you can click on them, and then you can see all the inventory. And you can go in the store and say, can I see this? In fact, you will be able to see everything they have. You will be able to buy something online if you really want it and have it shipped to you, or you can buy it online, but choose to collect it in the store, or you can just go in the store and see what they have.
What?
That's good. I mean, to me,
that's gonna be a lot of interesting information collecting. I would say.
Well, because I have it so often where I go somewhere and I look what kind of stores they have, and it's a little bit out of my way. Do I want to? What do they have? It would be so much nicer if I can just see exactly what they have, and then if there's something I really, really need, I just buy it and saying, put it in the counter. I'll come and pick it up.
So off the top of my head, there's only like really 4 in Philadelphia that are even worth kind of really bothering. And technically, some of them not even in Philly. Some are just outside of Philly.
There you go. And I mean, if you come to Philly, maybe you don't have time to see all 4 of them.
Oh no, I know you were just using that as an example.
Yeah, this way you can check them out and say which one you want to go for, right?
No, I agree with that, because when you look at, like, a lot of people, they're not all on social media with this site or that site. That if they're using your site and like say, hey, like, you're like, hey, there, I want to go check out something. I got some extra money. I want to see if there's X, Y, and Z going on. And pull your site up, pull like you're saying there, pull Philadelphia up, see, if it's Bill Sports Card or the baseball corner, whatever is has this item, that they have that item. It'd be like it's not as easy for everyone to figure that out, to say like, hey, like when they do a signing, obviously they're posting all over social media, but like they're not always posting and putting out stuff that what they have in their.
Even if they do, right, Stephen? I mean, like, let's say this guy here. This is a 12-inch Funko Pop. That will cost me $20 to have it shipped. But if I could, it may not be worth it. Maybe it's only worth $30. But if I can buy it in the store, I'll do that. So I think there's always going to be, and it's fun to go to local stores and browse around. So I hope that collectible stores stay there.
Yeah, I definitely would like. I'd rather go into the store to go grab.
Yeah, this gives a collectible
to grab over just going to HobbyDB to go buy this one or go to eBay to go buy that. Like it's not the same.
No, and with this tool, we give local stores a chance to get a much bigger audience. Plus, if you're like me, I have a few things I don't really need, but I just don't have enough time to sell them. So if I can just have a consignment agreement with a local store and give it to them, well, that's great, right? And there's also the end of life. You don't collect anymore. You need money, and so forth. The retail store concept there will also offer consignment. So I think it will give collectors the ability to monetize stuff quicker than they currently can, and then convert that unwanted stuff, duplicates, presents that they got that they don't want, et cetera, into something that they actually do want.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that, Mark.
Yeah, I bet you are. I mean, you just broke my brain. So how, like, if I'm in Philly, how do I see what that shop on 86th Street has?
Well, what you do is you click on the app, you choose Philly, you choose the store, and then the whole app just becomes that store's inventory. And you can see here this car. There you go. You can see it's barcoded. Yeah. So if I use the app and just if I'm in the store, I can just barcode and then check out. And what that does is, that's how the consignment is going to work, right? I'm just going to use the app to check out these items on consignment. Here's that one. And then the person that puts it on consignment gets cash, right? And the store gets its consignment fee. So it's a much, much neater way, because a store now can have, let's say they have 5,000 Hot Wheels from 50 collectors. They can put them all together in one place. They don't have to be separate because they're different vendors. Right. The store can really sort its inventory the way it should be. Here's a Funko, and here's the action figures, and here's the trading cards. And people buy something, they check out. In fact, our first store in North Carolina, it's a new collector's mall. There's 6 dealers, and they won't have a cashier. They're saying, we don't need it. We just use the app. You go in there, you buy something, you pay for it. There's no need to write checks at the end of the week and all that kind of good old consignment stuff that's out there. Just all done through the app. That's
awesome. That's really impressive. And that's coming this year?
That's coming this year. And what I foresee is, as a collector, there's always some stuff like 20-30% I don't need. I bring it into the local consignment store. I let them sell it. I put the sticker on and so on and so forth. It's my item because I know how to do that. I just don't want to ship it or have it sitting there. They do that. And then maybe I use the money to buy something else there. It's converting unwanted stock into something cool that I don't have yet that I want. And we know there's a lot of your wish list, Mark.
What's that?
And we know there's a lot on your wish list.
Oh, yeah. About 1 million.
Yeah. The other fun thing is, right, something that we want to work on is you can have 4 or 5 mates and you share your wish lists. So, if you're in the store, it will tell you that this item that you just looked at, well, your friend Tom wants that. And then you can either give him a call or you can just buy it. And we're finding the wish list so you can say, I want this item. I'm willing to pay up to $50. I'm fine. If that's an action figure, it can be loose. I don't need it in card, or I want it on card mint, or whatever you want. But you specify that, you put in the price, you share that with your friends. They can now act on your behalf.
HobbyDB is where it's at.
Thanks,
Innovation.
When you look
At
at how collecting has changed over the years, what you're doing is kind of turning it back on its axis again, my friend.
Yeah, it sure is.
Thanks.
I mean, you got to think about it. Like, all right, you most stores only keep so much inventory in there, but at the same time, when you're proposing what you're trying to have launched before the end of the year, it's going to connect collectors and hobbyists in such a way where, like you were talking about, even with the wish list, or you could see your friend, John has something of yours on the thing where you could contact them, say, hey, you have X, Y, and Z on your list. Let's work something out.
Yes, that's coming.
I mean, that's
trading.
Taking things to a whole nother level too, because when you look on eBay, everyone has wish lists, but it's not like you could see. The only thing they could see is that you favored it or whatever. You can make an offer, to make it cheaper or whatever. Other than that, like, it's not really, you could see each other's lists like that.
Yeah,
I think that's a really cool concept.
Thanks. Yeah, so having fun, Mark. I mean, I just love that all that stuff comes to fruition now, and see it working.
Now, I got something for you. Now, you're obviously a big collector of many things. Have you ever gotten to the point where, like, you love something to the point where you see something, you have to get it, even if it might mess with your finances a little bit? We see these memes running around like this one I was showing Mark. People look at my card collection and they think I'm rich, but it's like, bro, I'm unresponsible. Is there an item? Is there a specific thing that you would be reckless like that with?
Yeah, maybe there's. I love tin plate robots. There are certain and they are unfortunately very, very expensive. I shouldn't say expensive. Expensive is a value term. I should say they're just a lot of money.
What is it?
Tin plate robots.
Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, I mean, like, Japanese tin plate robots. Robotic.
Oh, robots.
Sorry,
Yeah,
my German.
Your accent.
I mean, I know he's got an accent, but it's like, come on. I guess maybe it's just for me listening to fighters from all over the world. I can get through the accent a little bit easier than me.
Yeah. So
I heard Roberts. Sorry.
Yeah.
Roberts. No, I heard robots.
Robots. I love those things. I love that space stuff. There are certain Buck Rogers items and Dendere that they made in the 50s, and those things, like the little guns they did, space guns, ray guns. I love those things, and some of them are really expensive. In fact,
just like a big, I guess, like wax card rookies for Philadelphia sports athletes. Of athletes I've talked to, the Matt Relics things, even though they don't grade that high. Love getting them signed by athletes and things of that nature. I know people get upset about that. They're like, "Oh, I don't really like the Matt Relics. It's just they don't really grade." I'm like, "Do you have to have a 10 on every card?"
No.
If it means if you went and bought it and went and had it signed by said athlete, does it matter that it had a 7.5 grade on it because it's one of those cards? No, it shouldn't. Should just mean that experience of you getting to meet the athlete, to have your card sign, your whatever sign. Obviously I'm also a jersey guy too, so like I'm getting to the point where I might have to sell some of these to rotate to get some of the stuff that I'm waiting to get framed up out.
Yeah.
Do you guys have jerseys on HobbyDB?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Don't get me started.
There goes your checking account.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
no, that's already starting. Beginning of next month, because Kelsey's doing a private signing in Philadelphia. He never does public ones, so I think he's gonna retire soon. So I think I should retire his first Super Bowl jersey I have and get that signed and framed up. Dude's probably gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean, actually,
I thought it was funny. Like, we just seen everything that happened with Jalen Hurts this past year. He's doing another sign, and my son met him last summer, and it's almost $200 more than it was when he met him last year.
I bet.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, on signatures, it's something I'd like to get onto where we can use AI to analyze signatures to see which one is the most likely signature by a particular athlete and which one is not. Because obviously signatures have a lot of fakes. We do a lot about fake detection. We've got what's called the fake photo.
That's
now.
actually really cool, especially for like when you see stuff like, a lot of people go on eBay and they'll grab this sign, that sign, and then they'll go try to get it authenticated, and you'd be like, yeah, that's not his autograph, or that's not this person's autograph. If you would be able to put something like that together, you're gonna kill these phonies right in their tracks, brother.
Well, that's I remember when I was 9 years old, there was a garage sale and my friend sold an ABBA poster, and somebody said it's not signed, so he signed it. He signed it Björn and Bruno and Agneta and some other name. It was the most funniest thing. So yes, signature recognition is something. In general, fake recognition give you more data on what's out there, and just have the ability to look at thousands of signatures at the same time using some AI will be very helpful here.
Wow. Could that be done through the app?
Well, what we already have is what we call the fake photo. So, Funko Pops, for example, get faked a lot, and they generally have some telltale signs. I mean, the problem is always, how much do you want to tell the public? Because then the fakers see it as well. It's a little bit like a arms race, isn't it?
Yeah.
You tell the fakers what's happening. That protects the collectors today, but it doesn't protect the people in the know tomorrow. So then you have to just get better. I mean, they're basically, the fakers get better. We have to get better, and show you what's out there and how to recognize these things.
That's incredible, man. I love it. So much innovation.
Now you're doing a lot of the digital stuff. Like, are you gonna start hitting up like card convention signings and stuff like that to start doing things of that nature, or is it something that you're not really on your radar at this moment?
We're doing some of that when it's local, but it's expensive. I'd rather invest everything we have in better user experience, faster, more data. And then, I mean, the flip side to that is, of course, you have to find us. That's why I'm glad that you guys interviewed me here. I've done a podcast this morning. We're trying to just get more people in by word of mouth instead of spending money on it.
Or you could do something where you have an athlete come with you and have the fans come to you.
We could do that as well. I mean, we have a number of key people in the industry. Adam Goldberg, for example, who just does what's his new show? He does a new Muppet show for Disney. He became a shareholder. He's a big collector. We have a number of people. Well, we have Mark here, right? We have a number of VIPs that are also part of the squad or own the company.
Well, no, and that's something we talked about on our first show is the celebrity side of things. Like we were talking a lot about the sports side of it. Are there any kind of like collectors from like actors and TV shows and things like that you think people should keep an eye out moving forward? Because it looks like even the card industry is kind of leaning more towards that way, seeing stuff for the Mandalorian that just came out. You see specific cards for that and stuff like that. Like you see more of that happening, the celebrity type memorabilia.
Yeah, I mean, one of the interesting things that I think is happening is in the past, people collected signatures on what they call the lobby card, that you used for showing a movie in the cinema. So that was the base for a signature. Now it's the Funko Pop, which means that people get signatures of many, many more things than in the past. Because the lobby cards just didn't exist. So yeah, I think signatures is a huge trend in the industry, because it does two things. It combines collecting with an adventure and a story.
Yeah. Yep. Well said.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like you even see it where like they got stuff for like The Walking Dead now and all kinds of stuff. And like you were sitting there saying, like before when we were talking about actors and celebrities, it was that or the movie poster or something to that effect, where you're finding more unique things to have collectors collect.
Yes, I mean, I think that's the trend. In the past, when you collected, you kind of had to collect something that you could get locally. Collecting is no fun if you can't buy anything. So people where I live from used to collect German toy companies because that's what you can get. With the arrival of the internet, you can collect taxi models from Argentina. You can collect anything because you can get it online. So I think there's been a trend to go away from the mainstream and collect many, many more things in the past, which is great. And makes our job a little bit harder because there's more stuff to be documented, but also more fun.
Awesome. Christian, I'm looking up your
What are you looking up, Mark?
I'm trying to find the WeFunder link again so I could share it with people.
Yeah, 1 second.
I know it's in my email.
That
There it is.
yeah.
WeFunder.com/HobbyDB to get involved. Ends 5 days, 4 hours, 42 seconds. Oh, I'm off there. 4 hours, 42 minutes from now. So Sunday, April 30th. You have the next few days to get in there and become a shareholder like myself and support a great cause, the hobby of collecting, which never ends and continues to grow and grow with innovation like you see with HobbyDB. WeFunder.com/HobbyDB.
Now you said you were just getting like the autographs up there. What my bit. I was already telling you about the jerseys, but I think some of the other cooler stuff is gloves and things of that nature too. Is that something you think we'll start seeing some more stuff into the hobby and cars that they'll break stuff down like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you see on my screen here. There's an example of what we're doing. So this is a Funko Pop. You can buy it, but you can also get it autographed. By Sean Astin, or you can get the prototype, or you can get a custom. So the idea is to really have everything in there, and it doesn't really matter if that's a Funko Pop or a shirt or a trading card or a poster or whatever it is. You can specifically go out and find all items signed by, in this case, Sean Astin or your favorite player or whoever you want, and you can add them to the system too.
So cool.
That's cool too. Like where you can customize and stuff like that.
Yeah, we just added a few hundred helmets, for example. That have been autographed. We're working with an auction house called Christain Auctions, documenting everything that they have sold in the past, and then start doing that with more auctions. We've signed an agreement with Heritage Auction to get all their stuff in. So the idea is all of that will come in both as a database item if we don't have it yet, and as a price point.
That's awesome.
It's just
killing it.
Dumbfounded by this at this point in time. Like, how I've been a collector this long and I haven't until Mark said your name this morning, how I did not know.
Well, that's probably our biggest issue. We're not very well known because it's all head downs and putting data in and getting more data up and just making the site better and so on and so forth.
That's why I was saying, like, maybe you should go to like when you feel like it's necessary for you to do one of the Comic-Cons or
I mean that's one of the reasons why we open our capital to our members. We've just had somebody who went to a Disney event in Princeton and took a table. He's a shareholder. He loves the site, and he told everybody about the site. He's one of our volunteers. So that's really the idea, spread the message, have 100,000 messages like Mark that go out there and gospel.
Yeah, absolutely. Because once you get a few people spreading the word, like I could see myself at shows with like handouts for HobbyDB, because the better HobbyDB does, the better we all do. And not just from a shareholder standpoint, but from hobby and collectible standpoint, what I mean?
Really, I think the holy grail of where we want to go to, you asked me what we want to do this year, is the total personalization. The total personalization is where you can say, look, I like I like these two sports teams. I like everything Topps made up to 1975. I like Corvettes, but only the C4. Whatever you like, you put that as a context, and that's all you get to see. And then over time, you can expand or make that smaller or bigger, that context. But that's your world then. And you benefit from other people adding some Corvette stuff and some top stuff up to 1972 and so on and so forth. But you don't have to see the rest. You don't have to look at the 102,000 hardware-free pins if you don't want to.
Or you just might, because you get on that website and you creep and crawl down that rabbit hole, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, the
I
idea
got down a rabbit hole. Like I said, I seen his action. Oh, man, I got to stay away from that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably be able to say, okay, show me only what I want, show me everything, or show me mostly what I want, but give me 5% other stuff. Because every now and then, show me what other people like what I like. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that you get to see new things.
And there's always new things because people are adding things every single day.
Yeah. And I particularly, I just saw this South American brand of a customizer. I love what he's done. He's taken The Simpsons and making it into Batman and all kinds of weird mashup stuff that I just thought was fantastic. And you just normally never see that.
Right.
Was on the Batman page. So
that's so cool. You have a cool job, Christian.
Thanks.
He does, man. That's like, I think that's the ideal job most of us want. To be able to do stuff like that. I mean, obviously there's probably tedious parts that drive you nuts with collecting all that information, getting it gathered and getting it up on the site and getting it working properly is probably the hardest part of your day.
Yeah, I mean, we had a company and they want an official archive and they have 13,000 products, and then they realized they lost 3,000 photos. Just gone. That kind of stuff. But then we just call out and saying, okay, we need this were Ferraris. We need Ferrari models by this company. Come in and add those, right? I mean, I can't complain. I love my job.
Of course you do. It's a beautiful job. And of course, I'm going to say that too, because this is a collectibles podcast, but it is really cool what you're doing. Just the database, the amount of data, the amount of collectibles that are in there is mind blowing. And then the things that you're doing right now with the app coming out later this year. Now's the time to get in with HobbyDB because you guys are going to explode this year. I love it.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. And thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I was going to say, as we get ready to wrap it up, I guess I got, one more before we kind of do our traditional wrap up is, he's saying, what's next for you this year? What is your, I guess, what's the cliche? What's your 5-year plan? where you shoot yourself into the future. Where do you hope to see your company, yourself, etc.?
Just much more data. I'm a data guy. I love nothing more when I go into. So on the weekend, I tested the HobbyDB Retail Network app. I was at the Denver Toy Con, which is a nice event here in Denver, and I had a table. And the lady on my right saw my thing, said, "You should use the HobbyDB app." And that was great. That was fun. Because she didn't know I was with HobbyDB. I'm like, yep, I should. You're right. Just much more data. There's so much stuff out there, and a lot. I mean, the Starbucks mugs. It's not my thing. There's 8,000 of them, but I just love the fact that there's 8,000 of them, and some of them sell for $20,000. They have real story. They did one at 9/11 in that building. They only sold for 3 hours. They don't know how many they sold. I think they sold 4. They cost $20,000. Starbucks mug. I just love those kind of stories and that kind of information. And then we have the wider mission of the Museum of the World. We have 6 museums now that we want to work with, where we document everything that they have. And the same way as the retail network, you can see what that museum has. And we obviously can't buy it, but you can see what they have, and then you can go and look at it. And they will be able to see you everything. Most museums only show 10% in the front office. The rest is in the warehouse. This way, they will be able to show everything, and they will be able to tell you, look, if you give us a week notice, then we'll get it out and you can actually see it.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
How cool is that, right?
Yeah.
10%? I had no idea.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of these. So I just spoke to a museum, the Doll Museum in Denver. They get 1,000 items donated every week. They don't know what to do with it.
That's insane.
You know, I mean, people bring it and leave it outside the door, or open the door and put it in the corner and saying, "Here, it's for you," and then run away. So yes, I mean, museums have huge warehouses. It's a big problem for them.
And you can help solve that
Now,
problem.
Mark, anything before we let Christian go and put a bow on this one?
I just think people should go check out hobbydb.com, check out the WeFunder, find out how to become involved. Very exciting project. Very grateful for Christain Braun, the collector of collectors, to join us for joining us tonight.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate your time.
Anybody who hears this and wants to get involved, contact us. We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess what we do at the end is throw the proverbial microphone over to you, Christian. Other than having people get involved. If there's anything you want to say, anything you want to tell people to make sure they check out, to make sure they link into, shoot out your social sites, let everyone know where to follow you. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. The floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you. Well, I mean, if you collect, join us on hobbydb.com. And if you'd like to help build the database, reach out to us. We'd love to have you.
You heard it here, folks.
Really appreciate the time, Christian. Definitely looking forward to having you on again at some point in time as we cross paths and cross promote and do other things between me and Mark.
This is your second podcast?
Huh?
Second
This is your second podcast?
We can come back on and do all kinds of stuff just because we're talking.
I'm going to be 102. Let's do 102 then.
Let's book it. You're in.
Sounds good. All right, Christian.
All right, Christian. Thank you, man.
Appreciate the time tonight. We'll definitely be in touch, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Stephen.
No problem. Have a good one. Everyone,
we'll talk to you soon.
Make sure you check out HobbyDB. Regardless if you're just cruising around social media or you're a hardcore collector, hit up the website. If you really want to get involved, like Christian was sitting there saying, head over to the website, fill it out. As Mark was already letting us know, he just hopped on board and got in part of the team and has his stock options and things of that nature. It's important to kind of build within our community. I think what Mark is doing is a great thing, trying to connect everything in every type of way. I'm really excited to see what transpires moving forward, how he integrates a lot of that stuff. Like I said, I was already, just sitting here as he was talking about it. I just typed in Philadelphia. It was like Michael Renberg,
goes deep, right?
Toy. There's Windross. There's John Van Viesbroek. Oh, look, there's Ron Hextall. I'm like, holy crap, I need to get off this.
Yeah. And then once you click on one, you can find hundreds of
it said it's like that's one, but there's 3 other ones that kind of matched that description. It was pretty cool.
So I've talked to Christian a few times before. And I was blown away by HobbyDB and what he's doing with it. And then on this podcast today, he broke my brain. Like some of the stuff he was talking about, I was like, wow, like this is insane. I love what they're doing. I love the vision, the passion, the innovation. He's bringing it all together. And it's for the hobby. Collectibles. Collectors rejoice because we have a big name player in the game. HobbyDB.com. Check it out.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be changing some things. Like I said,
yeah, he is.
Hopefully, he's able to crush some of those goals we were just talking about with him, and he's able to kind of really do some cool stuff with HobbyDB. You know, like I said, hopefully
I have no
we'll
doubt
have
he
him
will.
back on here. You know, it's some way, shape, or form. Like I said, we're gonna be doing all kinds of stuff here on Hardcore Hobby Talk, Belly Up
Indeed.
Sports. You know, Mark was just Iron Man in it this weekend, had doing 2 different vets in 2 different states. He's got his birthday this weekend. I'm going crazy this week. This is my first of 4 shows for this week, so it's a crazy time. It's a great time to be a collector. It's a great time to be a part of you know, sports media, you know, podcast, and however you want to word it. You know, it's an interesting time. You know, it's a great time as summer's about to start. You know, you have basketball and hockey, you know, coming to an end where they're going to crown champions within the next month. There, baseball, you know, we're just getting into the first month of the season. Football, NFL drafts this week,
So much.
we're getting
It's
closer
insane.
to your favorite team drafting the next superstar player, and you know, getting in the training camp and seeing what these guys will be able to do in this coming September to February. You know, it's a fun time for sports. It's a fun time for collecting. And speaking of which, is there anything you're looking forward to? I know I was making fun of the Hastabula card with UFC and Panini, but is there anything that's coming out recently that you're looking forward to as far as the card side of things, Mark?
That's a good question.
I mean, like I said, I'm not really looking forward to that. I was just making fun of Hastabula, but you know, there's you know, obviously with baseball coming up, I was wondering if there's anything that was catching your eye with that's coming out.
You know, I'm a Topps Chrome guy. I'm a big fan of Stadium Club, and Stadium Club Chrome just came out a few weeks ago, and that's been hot. But I don't buy a lot of boxes. If I'm at a show, I'll buy like a few packs or a blaster, but I don't buy a lot of hobby boxes or anything. I see so much of it. You know,
yeah, I know. Like I grabbed my son a couple, like, you know, $10 ones, $20 ones, just to like, you know, stocking stuff or type things. But I don't even really go crazy when it comes to some of those releases, just because, you know, for the most part, like it's not about like I'm not chasing to something or whatever. It's just sometimes it's just like you said, like, you know, you love it, but it's just like it's like I said, there. I think they need to do something to kind of really make something unique with it, to kind of get it to that. I mean, granted, it's crazy. You know, as far as card collecting is, where
it's bananas.
We've already talked about that before, where card collecting was 15 years ago to where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
It's night and day.
Night and day. Yeah.
But you know, at the same time, they're producing some cards and that aren't that great, and you know, it's one of these things you're gonna have to find something unique, something special. Like, you know, the patches are great and the autographs are great, but you know, what do you think that would have to be that next level thing that would make it unique?
You know, the patches sometimes are not that great. If you look on the back, well, a lot of Panini on the back where it says that it's authentic, it says that this patch or relic,
I already know what you're talking about.
any specific player, event, or date. So they're saying it's not from any specific player, but it's on a Mike Trout card. So who is it? You know, it's just.
So I already know. It
used to be game worn
we'll
stuff.
sit there and you'll see. You know, this card says that this was worn by you know John Jones, right? But meanwhile, like all it probably was is one of his T-shirts that they just sent him, and he just put it on for 5 seconds, took a picture in it, and then took it off, put it in a box back for them to kind of dice it up and become a card.
That's all it is. I saw a video a few years ago, and I can't remember the
worn. That's not fight worn.
No. So I saw a video a couple of years ago, and I don't remember the athlete in it, but he had like 20 jerseys on, and he would take one off, hand it to the rep, take another one off, hand it to the rep, so on and so forth. And there's your relic. There's your patch. He wore it.
It's not game worn.
No, it's not game worn. I love game worn. I love game worn.
That's where I think where they should probably whatever card company is going to do something, actually sit down before, even if it's a few seasons beforehand, just have something laid out. Just be like, can we get your gloves from one of your 4 home games, or maybe your pants from home game number 3 or whatever. Like, figure something out where obviously a lot of these guys do charities and do other things like that. That's why
I'll tell you,
it's really hard to come by. I get that.
I'll tell you what it is.
But at the same time, if you're a lot of these things where the licenses is only to this company or that company, then it should actually be easy to get some of that stuff accomplished.
What about just telling us what game that's from?
Exactly.
There it is.
And if it's not, just sit there and just say it's athlete worn, not game worn.
But imagine if it was from a game where Bryce Harper hit the game-winning home run in the playoffs.
The legitimacy of some of that stuff be real, and for once the pricing that shoots at the roof for him be actually legit.
Yeah. Massive. Those things would be.
Where
so
like, could you imagine if they were making game jersey stuff like when Emmitt Smith was breaking the Russian record, 20, 30 years ago?
That'd be so cool.
That card should actually be worth some money because it was like his game worn pants for, when he broke this record or whatever. That's when you should see some of that stuff really mean something.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's just a card that paid the guy to put a jersey on for about 5 seconds. I want to see one of those things with grass stains on it and stuff, man. Come on.
Yeah, man. Totally agree with you.
That's what the fans really want. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
Like, they don't
make it unique as heck.
Misha Tate do it. She put on T-shirts. And it was like, these are going out for my fight worn cards. I'm like, you're at home.
Oh man. Yeah.
It happens.
So
like I said,
bad.
It's something that we do make fun of it about. They're trying to put unique stuff out of it. I just say, quit being cheap about it. You guys are already doing things crazy. Why don't you just sit there and make it so it is an actual fight worn? It is an actual game worn. These are part of the 3 cards that we were able to make because we didn't have enough material from Shohei Ohtani's freaking cleat or something like that. It would make sense that then you would, when you sit there, say a 1, a 1, a 2, a 2, a 3, a 3 of that card should be worth crazy amount of money because it's from his actual game worn cleat, pants, shirt, bat, whatever.
And give me some dirt on it.
Exactly. That's what we really want. Let's be honest. We don't want it to look clean. If it's game worn, we want some grass stains on it. We want to see some dirt on it.
Yeah.
That's what the fans really want when they're going hunting for some of these special pools that they put in there.
Yeah, man.
I just think that they should try at least make an effort for it. Like, if it doesn't happen because for whatever reason you weren't able to do it that year, it has to get pushed back to next season because they decided they were doing a charity. Tell us the truth about it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sit there and say it's game worn when it's not.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where the hobby goes with innovation with cards. Because to your point earlier, the last 15 years, it's like night and day, right?
It is.
And it's only 15 years.
Wax cards were basically, it was almost over, but where you're starting to see, this relic, this patch, this mat, this bat, this jersey, like that stuff's cool. But like we said, it's not 100% authentic because we know your game,
right?
It's not actually this. Like, you sit there and says, if it is, you should tell us it's from the specific athlete, from the specific game date, who they were playing, the score of the game, all of that.
Give it all, right?
Right?
I want it all.
And here's the thing, like, especially with some of these players, you can have them do that live in game and just be like, hey, like, all right, if it was, if we're talking about a football player, his gloves or his jersey from the first half of this game, and then you do something else for your charity for the second half of the game, it's still game worn.
Yeah, man.
Like there's things that can be working out. Obviously baseball has a specific agreement with a specific company. For the most part, you only see UFC on Topps and Panini. You have to figure out something to make it unique.
It's coming.
Especially with the UFC gives out fight kits to all their cornermen and stuff like that. Like that, find something unique for something, whether it's in the ring for the specific walkout for that specific fight, whatever. Find something to make it special, because I think that's where some of those pools will be really special.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And
I think we're going to see a lot of changes, because with Fanatics coming in, who knows what kind of ideas and innovation they have. And
a lot of people aren't happy about that either.
That's always going to be the case,
But that's also because, like, you see things like, all right, like leading up to the Super Bowl, like people were trying to order the Super Bowl jerseys for Eagles and whatever, but they got to the point where like, oh well, it's on back order for the next 2 months. Well, we want it now. What do you mean it's on back order? Oh, well, we don't have the Super Bowl patch. Can you take this? No, that's why I wanted the jersey. So, like, I mean, obviously there's a learning curve when it comes to all that, and some of that stuff isn't going to be forever. So they'll be able to get on top of that and clear that up and things of that nature. But it's also gets to the point where you can't let that happen.
No. Or maybe you get to the point where they just don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, well,
and I'm not saying that's the case,
when
but
the hobby gets controlled by these other corporations. I don't like that.
Yeah, I agree.
But this is a fun one today. We're already
man,
hour and 15 minutes into it.
Christain Braun from HobbyDB, good dude, good company. I'm behind it.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna put some fun programming together, over the next few weeks. Not just for us here, but just overall on Belly Up Sports. Mark, any last remarks before I put a bow on this one?
No, just thanks for listening. Thanks for checking us out. Make sure you stay in tune with Hardcore Hobby Talk with the latest news, discussions, and trends in the world of collecting. We got your back. Thank you. I'm very grateful.
And anyone who's tuning in, guys, make sure you're locked out here on Belly Up Sports this week. We're going to be doing some fun stuff. Mark's going to be hooking us up, with some graded stuff to kind of give away to our NFL fans who are able to be listening to the NFL draft with us. We're going to be doing some giveaways. I think the guy who is running the show is going to be getting some post out over the next day or so, hopefully tomorrow. So we have a whole day to kind of get everyone's thoughts. But I'm doing an Eagles one. I know Mark's sitting there saying he's got a bunch of stuff for everyone. So what I want everyone to do, we're going to be doing a couple different posts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you follow Belly Up Sports. Make sure you follow the Grading Authority. Make sure you tag a few friends and give us who your pick is for your team. Maybe you want to get a couple ones in there. See, better your chances. I'm not going to hate you for it. Whatever you hit on, if you hit on, we'll pull your name. I'll shoot us your information. We'll get you over. We'll get you some things. I got some graded stuff. I got some signed stuff. So we're gonna try to keep everyone engaged. We're gonna be doing a few stuff. I still got the Otis Nixon jersey for our hitting 1K on YouTube. We'll be announcing the actual stuff for that. Is probably going to be more consistent with a specific video for YouTube that we'll just basically, you guys will comment on. If you comment on it, we'll pull one of the random comments, and that's how we'll pick the winner for that one. That's a pretty cool one. A Montreal Expos signed Otis Nixon jersey.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Freebies, giveaways, follow us, stay
and that's just for our loyal supporters. Like, it's not just for the giveaway hands. You know what I'm talking about, Mark.
I know what you're talking about.
That's why I said I want to keep the jersey specifically to the YouTube. the one we're doing this week is just kind of for everybody. This is just so everyone can get engaged, know what we're doing, make sure you're following what we're posting up, tag a few friends so they can get in on the fun too. You never know that's how typically you find some of your best supporters is through silly stuff like that. I didn't even know you were guys around until Joe tagged me in the giveaway you were doing. This is awesome stuff. I see it all the time.
I bet you do. I do too.
But that should put an end on this one. Really appreciate everyone for hopping in tonight. Mark, as always, the right hand over there. Appreciate Christian and his time again. Everyone head over to HobbyDB. Make sure you're showing them some love, especially if you're a collector. Other than that, this was episode 2 in the books. I'm Steve. That's Mark, and we'll catch you.